What you been doing? You been on tour lately?
Well, I left Mammoth in June and, actually went to Los Angeles and then began recording with a brand new band, Legends. I named the band, and I had two stipulations that all of the amplifiers, they had to turn them down because in other words, I have to play the piano now, acoustic piano, so I don't have any buttons to turn the volume up on the piano. So everyone said, fine, we're going to keep the volume down because the volume on most bandstands can become a little bit outrageous, and that's not necessary. So everyone said yes. Everyone was Marcus Miller on bass, Gadd on drums, Steve Gadd on drums, Sandborn on saxophone, and also Clapton on the guitar. I have the same management as Sandborn and Marcus Miller. And they had been to Europe, I guess last summer or in the fall or in the winter, and they wanted to actually do something different. And they came up with the idea of sort of putting together a like band of band leaders, if you want to call it. I won't say an all-star band, the band leaders. So and this was an incredible band to play with. We went down and recorded, and Clapton was supposed to come in and record a couple of pieces with us, but when he got there late because his own album is still in, he's still working on his album in London. Even as we speak, he's actually still working on his album. And so he didn't record with us, but he did rehearse with the band, and we went out to Europe for a month of summer festivals. And it was a lot of fun. And we had an overwhelming crowd, and it's called the Tivoli Gardens in Copenhagen. We had 80,000 people. I had never seen that before. You look to the left, you look out in front, I look behind me, and it was just thousands of people. It was a lot of fun. Then Clapton asked me, he said, I did you guys a favor, so Joe, I need a favor. So he asked me if I would accompany him on his Japanese tour, which was in a fall tour. So of course I had to say yes, and I went over to London, and then we rehearsed for a month, and then we went out to Asia, mostly Japan. October the 5th, I got back in Los Angeles November the 5th, so 1 month out there. And I had never really seen the kind of I could say, how should I say, this was beyond first class. Eric Clapton is rich. When I rehearse, it's normally 3 days, and then we hit it. He had a month of rehearsing, and the thing that shocked me, he really puts his money into the music, and the one thing that actually shocked me, he came and told me one day that he really loved the sound that I had in the rehearsal piano, which was a rental piano, a Japanese piano actually, a 610 piano, Yamaha. It's called a MIDI piano, and he said he loved the way I was making that piano sound so much that he didn't want to take any chances of me maybe not finding a piano that sounded that good in Japan. So he flew a piano from London to Korea and then to Japan, and then he had to fly on a return trip to London. He's a tremendous artist, and I actually learned a lot from Clapton. We got along great, and it was, I guess now, well, let's look at it like this. Everyone in the band were at least 50 years old. I was the oldest guy. Clapton could have been the youngest guy, like 52 or whatever. And you find now that those musicians from that period, from the late 60s, are beginning to retire, or they are dying off or fading away, and that's sort of a sense of reunion, or a sense of union with all of the older guys, because the older guys are the only ones left around to almost today who actually know how to go in a recording studio and then perform. In other words, we are capable of going in there and actually doing 1 or 2 takes, and we have something that we are very proud of. Most music today is actually made on the computers, with all of the technology of today. So everyone is, they are seeking out each other, and we are doing projects with each other as we announce people. Projects with each other. As we are now speaking, I'm supposed to be in New York City with Steely Dan recording, but I think that I won't record with them until May.
Are you guys going to release an album from the recent tour?
The Clapton tour, no.
No.
But I will be returning to Los Angeles today. After the holiday period, we will begin to create plans to finalize the Legends album after the first of the year. And we have about half of the album done now.
What's the Oriental audience like compared to the European or American?
Well, you'll find the Japanese are very unique. They are very much into music. I don't believe that there is any one nation on the face of the earth who buys more tickets to shows or concerts or records, and all kinds of records. They have also been leaders in the technology of sound systems and that, and they got into CDs, into the releasing of the older albums, older recordings on CDs earlier than I believe anyone in the world. One typical thing that happened on the Clapton tour was in Tokyo, which we did 8 shows there. That was 4 the first week, and then we came back in the final month, and then we did another 4 shows at the Budokan, as the Japanese pronounce it. There was one guy that was sitting right now front in the same seat for every single show, and if you look at him, he can rather unnerve you because he's just sitting there like this. That's how he got into the music.
But that's his way, huh?
The last 3 or 4 songs we would play, you could see the guy was singing the lyrics along with, and just about the final to the end song, he would kind of raise up, and he would start smiling, and then all of a sudden he would stand up.
What kind of songs or music did you guys play?
Clapton did a number of his old tunes, a few tunes from his new album, which it isn't on the market yet, and he did some of the unplugged things, and some other songs from the cradle, and a number of blues songs, and other. We actually had rehearsed a few other songs which he had second thoughts about performing because of the problem in Asia with the piracy. In fact, the first night in Korea, we did a show, and they have men who will actually go all around the audience, and maybe there are about 12,000 people in the audience, and they have a crew that will go around and try to catch the people with these tape recorders. digital tape recorders trying to stop them. So after the show, in the dressing room was a box full of all kinds of tapes. Well, they actually caught about 50 people taping.
Jeez.
But then you go out the next morning down into the business district where all of the shops are, and guess what? They are selling Eric Clapton live in Seoul, Korea yesterday.
Oh, God.
The whole concert, all pirated tapes, and they don't have laws to protect.
So are you gonna be around for your annual Christmas special?
No, unfortunately, the Blue Note in New York City loves to book me at their worst period of ticket sales. One of their worst periods is right after the first of the year, first week of January, or the second week of January, or right prior to Christmas. They book me because they know I will sell tickets right in that period.
Well, could you play us a tune before you take off?
That sounds great. So, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Happy New Year, although I will be back for the New Year celebrations. I will be going to New York. We'll make a run also into New Orleans, where that is the major music that was a part of my early childhood, and I used to wonder why I played the piano the way I played it, and I had to remember that I have the second line, the Creole, whatever you want to call it, those New Orleans rhythms in my blood, because all of my family came out of there years ago, and I was a part of that culture. And Mammoth